Ring, 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 hello, Sims and virgins.
Slow down. People don't like it when you
and
talk too fast.
don't slurp your coffee. And welcome back to Krown's magical peasant caves.
What the fuck was that? Hey, what? I apologize on her behalf. That was insanely disrespectful, and I do not endorse these sort of introductions that Elsa's doing over here. This is of her own accord, so if you want to cancel her, baby. Anyways, we have a few things to be speaking about today. More or less a follow-up on the last 48 hours, as I do believe that we are looking for resolution. Actually, today, that is, Wednesday, going to be the big day, as it typically is, in fact, as my studies do show, the most volatile day of the week by statistical measurement, although doesn't mean that we can't get major moves in other days of the week. Obviously, last Thursday we had a nice little swan dive to new lows, obviously, but plenty of things to be preparing for today that I think are going to be transpiring over the next, basically today, and then probably bleeding into Thursday as well. Anyways, other than that, I see a lot of familiar faces in here. I see some new faces as well. Mr. Jesse Roca says, "Oh my god, my first live session." That's right, man. Get in and take your fucking pants down and get ready for some ramming action, baby, because I think there is a bit of, I will pin your message, peasant. Okay, where is your goddamn message? How about that? What's up, Bear Nutrition? What's up, Nikki Page? Our lovely moderators are here, keeping everyone safe and Safi, which we'll definitely need today, as I am... Yes, I found it. I found your message. Okay, it's only like 5 minutes ago, so very difficult to find that. I see Yasik, good morning to you, man. Nick, Matador MC, Elizabeth J, John Pedersen, Art Vanderlei, a very easy name to say actually right there. It just rolls right off the tongue. We have Italian Stallion, my fucking man. I love it, dude. Absolutely fucking love it. Nayo, Burnt Cream, how the fuck do I can't even say that one. And there he is, Rocky G. What's up, what's up, fams? What's up, fams? What's up, friends? What's up, Sean Nevis? What's up, we have Gavin, we have Migto Biologic, we have Wessex Productions, we have Rick Lewis. Holy shit, Rick Lewis is here. Nice one, man. Fucking nice, baby. And Califrios YouTube. I have a shit ton of caffeine to get into over here. The way that the damn sun works at this portion of the year is really not helping with my sleep pattern, so I've been waking up at like a little bit before 5 a.m. right now. But it's okay, man. It's okay. We have the right tools. We just need to apply them in the proper way. So a few minutes here. As always, if this really disturbs you for whatever reason, you can always just check back in, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes or whatever it might be. And then also we'll post a video that is literally just the content later today if you happen to give a fuck. Anyways, with that said, let's get into it right now. Hello from Woo Town. What's Woo Town, man? I've never heard it. What is Woo? It's where some G is from. What is that? What is that? And there he is, Faraz in Capotico. By the way, guys, check out Faraz Mobin on Twitter. Actually retweeted one of his tweets or one of his pieces of work this morning. I'm really not that much into like the NFT metaverse type of stuff. I do think that that's obviously where things are trending, and it's going to be a big portion of the future, but most of it is garbage. His stuff, though, holy shit, man, that is like truly fucking stunning. Like I can become a believer when I start to look at his work and realize that holy shit, we're gonna be hanging out in like these clubs in the metaverse together soon enough. Well, there's gonna be no reason to go outside. Well, fair enough. Who knows how that goes. I need to make sure that I am safe and Safu in my own trading accounts over here. I am. Okay, that's good. Make sure that we don't have any unpleasant entries while streaming, because that is usually does not end too well for my own self. And I think I will just cancel that. There we go. Okay, beautiful. And I think I'm ready to focus on that. Excellent, absolutely fucking excellent. Marco Escobar. Holy shit, are you related to Pablo? That is concerning, man. That is absolutely concerning. And Henry Wanneker, good morning as well, man. Beautiful, man. Fucking beautiful. You can drink the meta cocktails. Yeah, I'm gonna be sipping it. Well, soon enough, at some point, the technology will be so good that it's gonna like hook into your brain, and it's gonna stimulate the exact same areas that it would if like the interaction or if the experience was real, was in real life. So soon enough, man, like. I'm certain that there's just gonna be absolutely zero difference between reality and virtual reality. They'll just be one and the same, and maybe even virtual reality gets better because at some point, they'll be able to like hook into like the exact fucking neuronic pathways in your brain that Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what Elsa says when I say anything that's like moderately perturbing to her. But yes, at some point in time, maybe in our lifetime, maybe not. Who the fuck knows, man? But even VR right now, I have a Quest 2, and those things are good fun, man. It really doesn't take too much to trick your brain. Now, obviously, it's certainly not perfect. There are a lot of things that need to be done still. But even with that, like, there's this one game that we had. It was called The Climb, where you basically like you climb. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's actually kind of a good workout for one. And then for two, we had a party one time, and in this like extremely amazing party, people wanted to play the VR. and so people were climbing around, and like it was truly, disturbing to some of the girls here, because, they had like an immense fear of heights. And just with that sort of representation in the virtual reality goggles, like it was, taking off those boxes in their brain. Anyways, yeah, I'd figure so, Adita. Hopefully I'm saying your name properly, but yeah, man. Whoa, my apologies right there. Yeah, but even for myself, I love this game in Quest 2 called Blade and Sorcery. It is the most ridiculous, most absurd, most brutally graphic game of all time. It can even double up as a porno sometimes as well, if you're like truly disturbed. But if you ever want a bit of an insight as to what it is, just go YouTube Blade and Sorcery. It's just fucking amazing, man. It's like literally sword fighting in VR. Now, obviously, they haven't gotten like the feedback right just yet, but man, that is that is good fun to go check out. Matrix is coming, yes, indeed, man. Good luck having a VR pussy, says Elsa. Wow, have you heard of a fleshlight? I have. In fact, so has my mom, because I say, clean it up! And now you're going to clean it up. And now we're all going to clean it up, because we don't want greasy-ass schmegma in our fleshlights. What do you mean, oh my god, gross? It's gross to have it in there. It's not gross to clean it out. What is gross, however, is to go and get the Alien or Frankenstein fleshlights. Those are actually quite disturbing. And if you do have one of those, what the fuck, man? What the fuck are you doing? And please stay away from me. Although maybe that's just a cop-out. Maybe I'm just trying to make it seem like I'm not into that. Who knows, man? Who the fuck knows? And Rocher, clean it up, young man. Go to your room and clean up your fleshlight as well while you're at it. What's up, Mr. Rocher? Thank you for joining the cave as well. Or rejoining it, I should say, as you have been here for 15 months now. Holy shit, that is amazing, man. That is absolutely amazing. I need to make sure that I get my own comments ready over here to rock and roll. And I think Elsa's, yes, she's recording them, so that's good. She's doing her job today. That's really, really nice. Oh, okay. Diamond Saw says, what the fuck is a fleshlight schmegma? Well, that's something that you should definitely Google. Although one time when I first started this channel, I actually Googled that on stream. Didn't end well. That video definitely blocked. Hey, what's up, Filson? Yeah, man, it's my Santa mug, or actually the other side of the Santa mug. So there he is. He's a nice little happy guy. He lives here in Finland, and well, he provides some good old black gold, I guess. Who's playing with your worm? I call mine the spaghetti. Pump day, says Stephen Klink. Maybe. I'm not so sure about that. Depends how, or maybe you're talking about fleshlights, man. Maybe. In that case, definitely a pump day. Just a few more over here, and then we'll get into it. Today's video is actually be very streamlined, because it's really just a continuation of the shit that we've been looking at for the past few days now. Slowly but surely kind of coming to fruition. Don't forget the chicken. Don't forget the chicken tennies while you're at it as well. YouTube doesn't allow you to sub my channel. It seems like YouTube's finally shutting it down, man. It was a good run. But I guess it's all for naught now. Oh well, man. It's been a good almost 4.5 years now. That's insane, man. David Sonari, good morning to you as well. Yeah, it's actually like really crazy to even think about. This channel was started in March of 2018. We are now in the year of 2022 in May. Okay, so maybe not a year and a half, but about a year and a quarter almost there. Man, that is just insane to actually think about, man. I need to spend some more time thinking about that. This channel has actually become like the highlight of my life in some ways. Really, really fun action and good stuff. Do you follow all the Johnny Depp trial and memes in Finland as well? We actually watched like a video or two of it like a week ago, myself and Elsa, and it was actually really interesting. I thought it was just gonna be like garbage, celebrity weird stuff, worship, but no, it's actually like quite interesting, man. Like they definitely, man, just because you're like a super famous, super wealthy, handsome, rich celebrity, revered by most of the world, or most of the first world at least, doesn't mean that you can't fall into the fucking trap of an Amber Heard, man. Jesus Christ, like. Yeah, I don't know if you guys want to listen to this, but while I do finish my coffee, maybe a couple more sips, and then I'll tell this story. So here we go. Yeah, apparently, like, man, she had an imagination. We really have to give her credit where credit is due, obviously, okay? I love creativity, and Amber Heard, definitely creative. Apparently, she was taking dookies on their bed next to Johnny Depp while he was sleeping, and then the idea was he would sort of like sway around in bed, wake up at some point, turn on over, and then there would be contact between the feces and his face. Like, how do you even think of that is a good question, and then It's from the Philly show. I don't think they pooped on each other in the Philly show. They were just pooping in the bed. Amber Turd. How did I not think of that one? Amber Turd. Oh my fucking god, man. Oh my fucking god. That is just insane. He should have invested in a flashlight. Yeah, I guess in hindsight, might have been a more safe time than getting wrapped up with a person like that. I mean, that is that is truly despicable, though. But then again, it's like, should I judge someone who, I guess we don't really know both sides just yet, but looks pretty fucking bad. Looks pretty damn bad, man. Russia shutting down power to Finland. Oh, fuck! We're fucked, man! The stream's off! No, man. Finland has these things in place. I think that was that sort of a news piece, apparently, from the like Finnish officials that I follow. They say that was more or less like, just... what's it called? Trying to rile people up and make something big out of something that's actually rather small. Because apparently Finland only gets like 10% of their electricity from Russia, and also Finland, being the very prepared people that they are, they have been preparing for a situation like this, and I think that they've already figured something out, man. The Finnish people. You can say a lot of things about them, but one thing that I absolutely love about Finnish people is that they are like extremely, extremely on point, and in very much. We'll fuck you up. And Elsa says, "We'll fuck you up." Okay, probably not, but you are a girl after all. Just kidding. Can't say that on the internet. But hey, look, if we're gonna have a fight between myself and Elsa, you should bet on me. I'm just letting you know right now. I'm probably gonna win. That's right, we got Nokia, man. I haven't heard, is Nokia even still around? Like, I haven't heard of that in a long time, actually. Nokia, yes, we have Nokia here, and also sound. That's about it. How did you end up in Finland? Just traveling around and Tinder, and then I met Elsa. It was a good time. Hyvä Suomi, yes, Hyvä Suomi. I think that means good Finland. I think, says Andre Hackman. It sounds very Swedish names. Very, very, very Swedish name right there. I think. Dumb and Dumber, Finland and Sweden, says Grizzly Bear. Well, you could say that, but, well, you're entitled to your own opinion, sir. How about that? How about that, man? All right, I just got one more. My bet's on Elsa to win. He says, "Nice kitty, nice kitty." I thought we had an understanding over here, man. What the fuck is this? Whose side are you really on? They sold Nokia to China. Did they really? I mean, I guess everything kind of gets sold to China, doesn't it? Did I just miss my entry right there? I done goofed. I got too greedy and I missed my damn entry. Motherfucker.
Love makes you blind and so does turds in the eyes.
Love makes you blind and so does turds in the eye. Yeah, that's how you get pink eye. It's actually like quite bad, It's a medical condition, I believe. Okay, I think I'm ready to. I think I'm ready to roll. I don't have any water, but that's okay. We don't need any water, at least for right now. And Elsa might even just get it as well. And let me just reposition over here. I would like to potentially take advantage of this if it does happen. That'd be very nice. And let me just add a little thingy here as well, just in case. You never know. Hey, stop that! Come on, computer. Let me type, please. There we go. Okay, lovely. All right, let me just reference my notes, make sure that everything's set up and nice and well. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Yes, all right. Oh, and I should let you know, or at least I'd like to let you know yet again, on the Krown trading application, which you can find in the link in the description below, we've actually done another update, and now we have actually the fear and greed index on the exact right day, so you can trust that it is literally a 12 right now. But as always, there is a major update coming to the trading journal in, I think, about a week or two from now. I'm not necessarily sure on the timing. Actually have to ask more and follow our dev, but again, I just want to hammer the trading journal in over here because this is free. You can use this at zero cost. It's all there built in for you. And honestly, this is like the thing where, I really do believe in trading, the magic actually does happen. You can test your strategies there. It documents your results, your average P&L, win, loss in percentage terms as well, the average win duration as far as time goes, and loss and then total as well. And you can also bifurcate that between longs and shorts, and this even have the total down over here as well. This is something that I'm really extremely proud of because I feel like this is a tool that, if anyone employs, even if you're not in a program or anything like that, if you employ this and you actually have just a few pieces or even just one piece of edge, you can figure out a winning strategy for yourself over time, with a little bit of smarts. Anyways, here we go for Bitcoin. I want to follow up on the last few days of analysis as we're starting to see these things slowly but surely kind of come to fruition. Now, of course, this will, as always, come with an invalidation point. But for right now, I wanted to follow up on this signal over here, or multiple signals. So first and foremost, we do see multiple drives of hidden bearish divergence all the way up to a 6-hour time frame on CME. This is also consistent on spot price action as well. But now we do have an indication that the move is very likely to happen today, or at least within this next 24-hour session. Basically Wednesday is typically a more high volatility day as far as general markets go. And in this case over here, BBWP is back down into single digit percentile. So we're very likely looking at a move outside of the short-term time frame range today, and that can obviously bleed into the medium and higher term time frame. So in this case right here, we have low BBWP, we have multiple drives of hidden bearish divergence, and if we go reference the, of course, momentum oscillators over here, like stochastic momentum, we can see that 12-hour stochastic momentum will turn down with any sort of a closure below 29,200. So that's actually getting quite close to current price action. If we go even down to the 6-hour time frame, it should be turning down, I believe, or maybe about to turn down, or maybe about to load. Yeah, there we go. As long as Bitcoin's below 30,000 and change right there, about 30,060 or so. I think 4-hour it should already be down as well. Yes, indeed it is at 30,050. And I just want to reference CME for the 12-hour right here. Yeah, it's actually nosediving already. And it's a 12-hour. The 12-hour will turn down below 27.7. Yeah. So ultimately, again, I do want to suggest that while the short-term timeframes, very likely do make a nice move here, it's the higher-term timeframes that do suggest that we're unlikely to see a trending move from here. So while I do think that Bitcoin probably has some downside, and we'll talk about targets in a second, I do want to also reference that I don't think that Bitcoin is likely to break down here for what it's worth. We're seeing the daily BBWP get below the moving average right now on CME. Obviously, this was already done on spot as of a couple days ago, and Bitcoin, goes into a sideways range. So I do think that at, hopefully at worst, Bitcoin just kind of retests somewhere down around our current range lows on the medium term timeframes, and then very likely bounces there. So that brings up the question, where would those areas be? And then what's an invalidation for that? And what are the things to be aware of right here? Well, it's the same thing as before, right? We still have this Fibonacci retracement right here from the range highs to the range lows, or just from the range highs to the low in this case. And any sort of, technically speaking, should be postured right around about 29,500. We didn't get that closures below on the last couple days here. I think that this is kind of more formality. Obviously, that is being aggressive. To be fair, if you do want to play things by the book, then waiting for a break actually of that would be the right call. And then yes, I would be looking for a move very likely somewhere down around the 618, which is between about 28,000 even to 27,800 or so. On a wick basis. And then the real question is, does Bitcoin bounce and play out the LARP lines like this? If it does, then I would be looking for, the next assault somewhere between about $32,500 to $33,000. Until that happens though, should be aware that if Bitcoin were to actually close below this region, especially on a medium or higher term time frame, that being the 618, which is just below $28,000, I actually would be looking for well, at least a move down somewhere around about 26,500, but very likely, to be quite honest with you, back down around our current wick lows, like the current actual low of this move, which is in the mid to low $25,000 territory. At that point, Bitcoin probably even goes for a new low as well, a slightly new low, but I don't think that Bitcoin would have significant downside below, let's say, the $22,000 to $23,000 region before playing out a more interesting bounce. So ultimately, I should also offer up an invalidation for these signals in the way that they are right now as well, because that can always happen, obviously. And before I was saying it was going to be the 16th of May high, we can now actually move that to yesterday's high, the 17th of May. I do think it would actually be appropriate to front run in a region like that, if I can even speak properly. And at that point, I would be looking for that same sort of move to the range highs here, again, between about 32.5 to 33,000 bucks or so. Very likely a pullback from there, and then we'll come back to it after that. But ultimately, I do want to say that even if Bitcoin does trade down here, which I do think is a little more likely, to be fair, for the reasons stated, I don't think that Bitcoin is actually likely to really break the $28,000 region or really like print significantly new lows from where we're currently at right now. That's mostly based off of a couple charts over here. The big one for me is actually the daily stochastic momentum, as we will see that it remains upside postured as long as Bitcoin's above about 26,800, basically 27,000 bucks in this case. So I do think that downside, if Bitcoin does play to the downside, it probably puts in something resembling like a higher low on the medium term timeframes, and then puts in a nice little bounce, or at least a tradable, or hopefully a tradable bounce in this case, with a move back up north of 30,000 bucks. Of course, if this condition is not met, then yeah, I guess retest the lows and probably slightly new lows, somewhere between about 22 to 23 if I had to guess. But ultimately, the big one for me is, again, going back to this 5-day chart over here. I won't go through the full rigmarole as far as the explanation goes, but I do want to say that the 5-day BBWP getting down into these teen-digit percentiles has led to an average move of about 45% done over the course of 40 days for the last couple years here as we backtested this. Again, if you're new to this channel, we've gone over this a million goddamn times. If you're old to this channel, I apologize for the repetition on this, but it is important. And we played out that exact same move pretty much to the dot right on over here. I don't say that to like toot my own horn or sound pompous or anything. It's just these are statistics, these are probabilities. This is where I actually think that technical analysis can meet trading and actually work. And we see something that's very comparable to the past iterations, about 47% down from the volatility expansion to that next major low. Again, also driven by that 5-day stochastic momentum oscillator as the direction was gotten right, and done over the course of literally 40 days. So very much in alignment with the past iterations here. And the thing that I want to focus on right now is the mean reversion play that typically happens after these moves, seen as we just played this move out. So in the past, or what I'm going to do here is I'm basically going to measure, the low of that move to the next high, and then judge kind of the days. Obviously, this one over here, about 28.5%. I've already gone through and done all of these and recorded the results over here, so I'll just show you them. And basically, the average counter move, the average like mean reversion play after that first initial signal played out was about 31.1%. So in this case, if we were to play out a 31.1% move from our current low after that move was made to the upside, that would put Bitcoin, guess where? About 33,000 bucks, give or take, small amount from that number. Of course, if we also were to even nail down that data a little bit more and just talk about the average mean reversion on only the downside move, seeing as this was, a downside move, then the average that we've seen in the past couple of years is about 38.12%, which if we were to add on to the current lows, puts Bitcoin somewhere around about 35,000. Yeah, about 35,000 right here, if I can actually get it right. Yeah, about 35,000 bucks, which also lines up with a few other things as well. Obviously, if you go back to this chart and we go to a higher term time frame so we can actually see, and we pull it out a little bit over here and get rid of these moving averages because they're in the way, you will notice that the 382 is right around, guess where? About 32.5 to 33,000. And then the 0.5 is right around about 35,000. And then obviously that's also where the last CME gap is from the 6th of May. So in this case, I still think that that's actually rather likely before going lower. But the question is, in the short term, does Bitcoin put in like a little bit of a fake out move down first and then pop it up and then put in that move over the next couple weeks here? I think that that's actually rather likely, to be quite honest with you. But at the end of the day, this is why we have validations and invalidations for these sort of conditions, and just going off statistics and probabilities for this particular one as it is right now. So I think that's a good place for me to leave it, a nice and short and sweet one right there. I think that's mostly. Yeah, dare I say simple? No, nothing's actually simple, but it's in there. It's basically in there. So I'll leave that right there, and hopefully that was helpful for Bitcoin sirs and zers. I should also let you know on Instagram, I've actually been trying to make a dedicated effort to be more and more active there. So you'll be seeing more there. And also, I want to warn you that there's a bunch of scammers on Instagram as well. If you happen to give a fuck, my account is in the link in the description below. Any other account is not me. I do not have any secret trading funds. Also, we got a Bybit shill link as well for their leverage trading. As always, don't fucking leverage trade. I'm not your dad, but I strongly suggest do not leverage trade unless you actually backtest your strategy, which you can do for free on the Krown trading application, or pen and paper, or like Google Sheets. Like, all of these are completely fine. Strongly recommend do not leverage trade unless you actually have a working strategy that you've backtested, you know the results for, and even then, start off small if it's relevant to you. And thank you, baby. I just got some nice finished water, and I will close off the video right there. Hopefully that was helpful and lovely. Okay, sweet. Oh man, and I forgot one last thing actually, back on the Krown trading application over here. The other thing that does make me consider that Bitcoin probably, unlikely to make like significantly new lows from here is the funding rates. We're seeing pretty significant negative funding rates right now, negative 0.016%. The only other time in the past, realistically, like the past couple months here that we've seen, these, even lower than that, like extreme lows was basically last Thursday on the 12th, or I think it was Thursday, when Bitcoin was basically putting in our current low. So yeah. Long term though, I do want to reiterate my thoughts that I do not think that Bitcoin has seen the lows just yet. I do think that Bitcoin either retests our current lows or goes a little bit lower, and at best Bitcoin's going sideways for summer. Like, that's, in my opinion, best case scenario. Other than that, cool. I think that is it for that. I'm just kind of perusing around the different timeframes over here. I am gonna pull up the chats now, and let's see. Or what? Oh, okay, gotcha. Boris is first, is also with a mouthful right there. Hello, I asked you last time about low BBWP on the monthly. Do you think we can get much lower from 26,000 in case monthly BBWP crosses above white line on the next down move? Okay, hold on. All right, that was kind of a mouthful. Let me see if I understand this properly. Low BBWP on the monthly, yes, we certainly do have that at 100%. You're talking about this right here. We're actually at one of the lowest, the second lowest, in fact, recorded for Bitcoin's history on the monthly. Do you think we can get much lower from 26K in case the monthly BBWP crosses the line? It is going to cross the white line right here. So the monthly BBWP is direction neutral. When you're looking at volatility indicators, always, it is direction neutral. What can give you a bias on direction is a momentum oscillator. I like to use RSI, I like to use the Joule, or I like to use the stochastic momentum oscillator over here. All of these are pretty simplistic tools, maybe not so much the Joule. And maybe a little bit less so on the advanced stochastic as well. But ultimately, those kind of give me a bias on direction. So I would not blindly say that just because we have low BBWP that it means that Bitcoin can't go lower than $26,000. If I were to look at this from a momentum perspective, and we went over here to the monthly, for example, you can cleanly see that momentum is to the downside as long as Bitcoin's below $54,000. This is why I absolutely love this indicator, because it tells you where those momentum pivots are. And also breaking into the bearish control zone again for the first time realistically, freshly since like June 2018. I mean, that's kind of a big fucking deal, to be quite honest with you. It's very difficult to be bullish in a situation like that, like long term. So if anything, it would suggest, yes, Bitcoin does probably go lower over time. The question is how much lower. Are like the super mega bears going to be right and Bitcoin goes, all the way down to like 14,000? Possible, but it's certainly not my first target. At least I'm not getting anything that's tangible that tells me that that's like a likely thing to happen right now. What I am getting, or at least the lowest price action that I am getting that is reasonable to expect, would be like 20,000, give or take about $1,000 from that number specifically. So yeah. Anyways, Boiler Room says weekly inverted chart looks bullish or bearish. Okay, so you're talking about this and you're talking about this time frame. And does this look bullish or bearish? Well, I always go off a trend in this case, and the trend is your friend. And what do we have? We have a fucking uptrend now, don't we? So I'd be bullish on this, obviously. But bullish on a weekly doesn't mean that you can't have like a correction into another lower high, even all the way up to like $40,000. So when we're using a big time frame like this, the ranges are naturally going to be, or the numbers are naturally going to be like very, 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 very exaggerated. But where's your last high or low? $47,000. Anywhere below there, that's still just another lower high. So I'd have to be bearish on it. You are essentially at your macro range lows right now, or macro range highs in this case, if you're looking at the inverted. So, is this a good bouncy area? Probably yes. But I wouldn't necessarily say that like I'm bullish on trend, for example. Eric Harrison says, seeing future volatility for the Tether USDC pair. I don't know. This would be like event driven. This is not my game over here, so I'm not the person to ask. Like if you want a better opinion on this, ask like a tinfoil hat or something, because they'll always be like, Tether, do you want to know the truth about Tether? Tether is controlled by the government, and the government's trying to steal your coins because the government hates crypto. I don't fucking know, man. Yeah, no, because that's what that's what those highly intelligent people sound like. They sound like fucking Alex Jones. And hey, Alex Jones, he got some things right now and then, but I don't know anything about this, man. I'm not the person to ask. Are there issues with Tether? I mean, it doesn't sound like the most. I mean, look, I can definitely believe in some conspiracies. In fact, sometimes it's even fun to do so. But I don't know. I don't know, like Tether, ever since I joined this market in like 2016, 2017, there's always been people saying, do you want to know the truth about Tether? It's a scam. I don't know, man. It survived a lot. So it survived a lot longer than fucking Terra Luna, I'll tell you that. Which actually did seem to be quite literally a fucking Ponzi. Like, what? There's a bird. Oh, there's a bird. There's a bird outside. No shit. Yeah, I don't know, man. I would not even bother using a. Yeah, look. I mean, can we apply a volatility indicator to this pair? Yes, of course you can. Is it gonna tell me anything interesting? I don't fucking know, man. I mean, look, even if it does get to extremes, let's see what happened in November. Looks like a straight line to me. I don't have an opinion on this, man. I don't have an opinion on this. That would be event driven and not something that not something for me to comment on, because I don't have any good opinions on that. Does Eric Krown believe in aliens and or Area 51? I mean, Area 51 is there. Do I believe in aliens? Like, I'm an alien over here in Finland, so it depends what you define as an alien. If you mean like extraterrestrial aliens, I don't know, man. The universe is so big, like, it would be kind of weird not to think that there's at least something out there. Apparently it's like expanding to infinity and never stops, or at least when it does stop, like the universe will like split. It'll be like a balloon that cracks and then it'll go back into like just one singular point, and then we're all fucked. So fair enough. There's your positive message for the day. I did the yellows, yes. The greens. Okay, greens are next. Okay, 1 second. Voice is sufficiently fucked up after that, so that's good. South Charlotte Services says, I've been using Bookmap and Trading Light to gauge liquidity. Do you put much emphasis? I absolutely do not care at all whatsoever about a goddamn order book. Point blank period. It is the biggest, in my opinion, waste of time, just because of this simple reason. An order book shows a phantom. The recent trades list, that's legitimate. That's what shows up on the chart. Those are trades that have been executed. An order book are not trades that have been executed. And you know what? What are the orders that actually move the market? They will never show up in an order book ever. They will never, by fucking definition. If you do not understand this, you do not understand the most simplistic thing about markets. I'm not saying this to like talk down to you, just in general. The only thing that ever moves the markets is market orders, not limit orders. Limit orders are what you see in an order book. They might get filled, they might not get filled. But think about it this way. Put yourself in a big account's shoes, which is probably what you're thinking in this case. And you're probably thinking, oh man, if they're showing all of this size right here, surely this is support. If you have that amount of equity, if you really are like a true whale, why would you, knowing that you're telegraphing to the fucking world your potential positions, why would you show exactly where you're trying to position yourself? You wouldn't. And also, That's not to even mention that, if you were to limit order into positions, which I do all the time, but if you're a big account and you wanted to hide that, which you can definitely do, you could just use a hidden order or an iceberg order, whatever the fuck they call it nowadays. It's completely, in my opinion, irrelevant. Now, what can be relevant is to see what actually gets filled, but that's the only trade that's going to show up on your charts anyway. So to me, it's like, why would I go two derivatives or like a derivative away from what actually happens? To me, it makes very little sense. Anyways, Ken777 says GMT 4 hour, please. Sure, man. Let's see what this highly esteemed piece of shitcoin technology is doing. And it's actually not so bad right there. The problem is that what if Bitcoin shits it out and comes down to like 28? This one probably comes down to like 128 to be fair. But for right now, I mean, it actually is putting in higher lows, and it actually is looking quote unquote, pound for pound better than Bitcoin in the short term. We do have something like this going on, right? Triangles are pretty much the only sort of formation that I even happen to give a fuck about. Inverted head and shoulders are okay, channels are okay, but these ones actually do seem to work out. Anyways, it'll only be confirmed, more importantly, with with like a 4 hour closure of about 174. At that point, I'd probably be looking for your next range has to be tested like 215 to 220ish region. Give or take a little bit from that number. Until then, below 126, big problems. But for right now, it's actually showing likely another move back up towards 171. Does it actually break there or not? I don't know. But if it does, then I'll just be looking for like more like 220 to 230. I apologize. Got that one wrong earlier. Migto Biologic says, this is a lovable bunch of peasants and we appreciate your work. Hey man, it's all good, dude. I'm having fun. It's, again, like this is kind of I think it's been more or less the highlight of my life thus far. This has been like massively fulfilling and then also massively rewarding. And, man, I'm, like I just consider myself realistically like a part of the community, and this is like that's what makes it fucking fun, man. Other than that, I mean, it'd be like most other communities, which it's like, let's get very serious on this magic internet money cryptocurrency trading today. The news says, yeah, I'm putting on my glasses too. I mean, it's just, I don't know, to me that's fair enough, whatever. Teach their own, right? Tom Struck says, welcome to NATO, Finns. I don't think we're in just yet, and I think that Turkey says no. Fair enough. Whoa, Turkey can fuck off, says Elsa. Anyways, a queue is forming. GNC on ASK, got it. Is this what I think it is? No, it's not. Grain Corp Limited. Daily and weekly, okay. 4 hour looks okay. Daily looks okay. Yeah, I'd actually be looking for this one to pop back up towards prior highs, like 1070 or so. Weekly, pretty ridiculous chart long term. I really wouldn't take too much to put in a major top here, but I would not be calling tops until at minimum you're seeing daily closures below about 980. At that point, I'd look for heavy corrections, and I'd call a probably like a long-term top here with targets down below $9. Probably finds its low maybe at $9, probably more appropriately at around $8 or so. If that were to happen. Looking quite a dystopian name. Yeah, definitely. Looking to fill the wheat market. Gotcha. Okay, so that's why it's rallying to the moon and beyond. Just out of curiosity, monthly. I mean, it's a pretty ridiculous chart, right? But, the daily says I wouldn't call a top just yet. Only below 982, actually, on a closing basis. That would be very concerning, though. Sean Nevis says, hey, man, all good. I nerd out to it as a 15-year trader. That's awesome, man. Hell, dude, that's also what I'm, like, super proud of with this community as well. It's like, 15-year trader. You've been trading more than me, actually, longer than me at least, because I've been like maybe just over 10 years, depending upon like where you kind of started from. Do you start it from where I actually started trading my own accounts, or where I started learning? That kind of changed the equation a little bit, but still, it's a community of colleagues, right? We come here and we share ideas, and that's actually where you can come to something actually better, rather than just like, what do we buying today? Every time I fucking tune into this one unnamed stream, what are we buying today, guys? It's like, oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. Capotiga, what's up, man? Hey, all good, man. All good. Near 4 hour and 12 hour. Okay, let's check it out. Near USD. So last time we looked at this one, it was kind of in free fall, and it continues to be in free fall. Pretty ugly, man. Here's the thing. Like, I actually do think that you probably end up retracing this wick over a long enough period of time, but that's probably not relevant to you because you're on a 12-hour and a 4-hour. So let's see what's more relevant in the short term. Very similar to Bitcoin right here, weaker in the short term. I think it's rather likely to retest this 1414 extension, and that's pretty much like your range lows here. The question is, do you break it or not? If you do, then yeah, at that point I'm probably looking towards about 430. If not, and you get something hopefully similar to Bitcoin that I'm kind of postulating earlier like this, then I'd be looking for a move somewhere around, maybe like 8.25 to 8.5 or so, and that would be validated by any sort of medium-term time frame closure above your range highs, which is about 765 in this case, but definitely on the relatively weaker side of the equation of things, all things considered. And if I'm looking at the 4-hour, I do think that things are more likely to trade to the downside here. We have hidden bearish evidence on 4-hour RSI, and 4-hour Joule just got another downside signal a couple closures ago, so suggesting that at least downside in the short term is a little bit more likely here. So hopefully that was helpful on Near Protocol, sir. I'm gonna need a lot of water today. I should not have yelled earlier. That that does not fucking help, man. Oh, really? Let's see what else we have. I think we have Daniel Egley, Sol USD on the 400 daily. Okay, this one probably I should record. We haven't done one on Solana in a long time. Man, I'm sweating like, oh my god, this is disgusting. I'm so gross. Look at this. Holy shit. I mean, do you want? No. I would appreciate if you kept water away from my computer. Actually, no, do not do it. Do not even fucking think about it. No. Also, like, can you stop? What the fuck are you doing? 4-hour daily on Solana. Let me just see what this is looking like first, and then we'll get into it. Solana actually holding up relatively better than Bitcoin too. So I guess this gives me a little bit of short-term hoping, if you will, but short-term is not the same thing as long-term, obviously. Anyways, let me pull it out here. Where are we in the grand scheme of this damn thing? Yeah, okay, so very similar to that near chart, actually. All right, here we have Solana symbol, SOL versus the dollar, and we'll be going over the daily and the 4-hour here. I think actually this one would be easier to start off with the very short-term time frames. We do have clean and clear range highs right around, in this case, basically the high of the 15th of May, which is 59.18. If Bitcoin, if Solana even just trades above there, I would be looking for a nice little short-term rally somewhere into the 63, maybe even as much as $67-ish region, somewhere right around here, if that condition were met. However, the thing that has me thinking that this is unlikely to happen is generally the rest of the market. So if Bitcoin does turn down, let's say below about 28,000 bucks, especially, I would be looking for Solana to come back down and test somewhere around your lows from the 14th of May, which is about 46.31 or so. In this case, we are not seeing the same sort of bearish divergences building up on Solana, so that would be kind of a good thing. Obviously, 4-hour Joule is, I mean, it's neutral, not necessarily bearish, not necessarily bullish, and 4-hour BBWP is actually still in a contraction phase right there. So, this one actually holding up relatively well compared to other things. Problem is, again, if Bitcoin comes down, everything else very likely to come down with it. So I would say, just based off of that, I do think it's a little more likely to see somewhere between about, 48.5 to that 46 and 30 region. However, I would really not be looking for like majorly new lows unless you do see like a 4-hour closure below that 46.25 region. Long term, I do actually think that this one will retest these lows over a long enough period of time. But for right now, I think it's more likely to get something similar to what I'm kind of looking for on Bitcoin, which would look maybe something like this, where it perhaps pops down, puts in something resembling a higher low, anywhere above 46 and 30 is fair game, and then puts in a rally over the next few weeks somewhere around here. As any sort of a range resolution above that $67 region for the short term very likely leads towards a test somewhere around the mid to low 80s in this case. Long term, though, really unimpressive chart, unfortunately. Your last lower high was all the way at 143, so anything even to like $100 would still be long term pretty macro bearish. One moment here. Elsa's laughing in the background because she has zero respect, and yeah, it's very fucking funny, isn't it? Daily momentum remains the upside as long as it's above about 45.78. So again, I do think it's more likely to trade to the upside out of this range. The question is, do we get a short-term downside move or not? I do think yes. 4 hours stochastic momentum heads to the downside below about 56. 6 hours going to be showing downside below about 55.34. So actually, kind of right around there right now. So if you start to see those levels lost on the next closure for those time frames, probably does play at the downside move first. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Solana, SIRS, and ZERS. Noah97 says, yo, can you have a look at S&P daily and weekly? Oh, my apologies. Gas Man, does he have a comment though? I don't see any comment, but thank you for that, man. I do appreciate that. Let's see. Dub. No, this is not fucking relevant. This is. Okay, is this a massive fucking bear flag? No, this is okay. People, actually, okay. First off, it wouldn't be a bear flag. It would actually be a bull flag, which I have seen people, posting on crypto Twitter and crypto YouTube. It's neither. It's a fucking Jesus toast. And that's really what most formations are, at least in my opinion. If you backtest these formations, first off, this doesn't even fit the bill for, it really doesn't even fit the bill for either, to be quite frank with you, because you're actually not getting a downward slope on neither your highs nor your lows, so I think that kind of goes at the wayside. But at the same time, most of these formations are just garbage, unless they're like super fucking painfully obvious. They're unlikely to work out. That's my general sort of gist on formations. Yes, triangles ascending and descending can be very, very good. Channels can be pretty damn good. Head and shoulders can also be decent enough as well. But anything other than that, man, it's just, in my experience, very low probability of actually playing out. And I think you probably meant bull flag, not bear flag. It's certainly not a bear flag. I have seen people make the case that it's a bull flag. It's fucking not a bull flag, like by goddamn definition. It's actually rather interesting to see the sort of like twisting of reality that people go through to present a narrative, both the upside or the downside. It's neither. It's a Jesus toast. Got a clear and obvious range going on right here. That's it. Macro range, that is. Anyways, Super Googly Lee says, hello, sir. Can we have a look at US oil 4 hour and daily? Sure. Yes, your keyboard's mechanical. You're on a 4 hour and a daily. Okay, weekly is bullish. Daily is bullish, but I probably would be looking for a short-term pullback here. 4 hour, again, same thing. Like, this is generally good, but I do think that you could very easily pull back somewhere down around like 109.5 to like 110.75. But over a long enough period of time, what is this? This actually would kind of fit the bill as an ascending triangle right here, validated above about 115 and 40 or 30 cents, whatever it is. And you do have you have higher lows here. And that's really all that any formation comes down to. Trend, like literally any formation can be broken down to 1, horizontal support and resistance, and then 2, trend. And if you can understand that, you don't need to learn any formations, in my opinion, simply because if they're gonna work, that's what it comes down to. Quite literally just a continuation or reversal of trend, and then validated, above and below horizontal trend lines. Anyways, yeah. Let's see. U.S. oil, 4 hour and daily. Again, I think maybe a short-term pullback here, but ultimately this is bullish. The question is how far do you pull back? Daily, I'm generally looking for continuation though. Daily Jewel Con actually shows the direction on this one. Weekly, good as well. In fact, this one might actually not pull back that much here. I'd really only say that it's like, I'd really only like destroy its current format below about like 107 or so. Until then, any pullback, just another higher low, getting ready for a trending move. Your higher term timeframes are I think are pretty good here actually. So hopefully that was helpful, ma'am. Let's see. Yeah, I'm on the green ones though, so I think I know where I'm at. Oh, Sean Waller is here. Okay. Yes, I just did them. Okay, good day, sir. When backtesting a strategy, should I normally include trades that I normally wouldn't? Sleep. Oh, this is a really good question. Yeah, I'm going to record this, and I'm going to bring it back on over here. Okay. Hey, bring it up. Okay, here we have a really good question about backtesting strategies from Sean Waller. He's saying, should I include trades that I normally wouldn't, i.e. when I'm sleeping, or whatever it might be, whatever sort of situation would kind of imply that you wouldn't take that trade. So I would argue that you should test as specifically as you would take the trades. That's going to be the most relevant. Now, theoretically, it shouldn't make that much of a difference. But if you do want to be as accurate as possible, then yes, trades that you would not take while you're sleeping, assuming that you don't have some sort of an algo or bot to trade for you that could take those trades theoretically, or they could maybe be automated in some way, then of course that's not going to be relevant. So you could throw that out, and technically speaking, it would be more specific. And specificality is the most important thing when it does come to backtesting a strategy. In theory, though, in reality, probably not going to make that much of a difference, because what I imagine you're most interested in is just the raw statistics, like you can see over here. Again, I just want to show this app really quickly. You can find it in the link in the description below. It's free, so there's you can also use like pen and paper if you want. You can also use like Excel or whatever you want. This one just has everything done for you, and you don't have to like calculate it out. But ultimately, in reality, they're not going to be much different results, because you're probably interested in, one, your raw P&L that you can expect from it, two, your raw, not your raw, but your percentage P&L, your win rate, obviously, and then of course like the time in those trades. I think that's kind of like a bare minimum for what it's worth, and in this case, it should fall into line with those average of statistics, and probably does bolster up the results, generally speaking, because it's the edge that's going to make the trade, not necessarily the time of day, in theory. So I would say that technically speaking, yes, you should not include those. In reality, I don't think it's going to matter all that much, because it should naturally play within that. Like, you're looking for the average anyways. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful, ma'am. Cool. Let's see. Let me scroll back up. I think we have Noah 97. He's looking at S&P daily and weekly for possible bounce into where. I'll bring up SPY futures here. Yes, I did Capitico. Let me get rid of this one. Not relevant towards your time frames, but this one is, and let me actually redo it, because that is also not relevant towards your time frames, in fact. All right, in this case, do I think that S&P is likely to bounce similar to Bitcoin, right? You're on your macro range lows here. I'm not saying that this is like, bullish. I'm not saying that I'm calling like new all-time highs, but yeah, it's more likely to bounce on these timeframes that you're talking about. In this case, obvious areas would be 41, 40, 45 basically. And then about 42, 35 or so is kind of where I'd be looking for if this one does end up trending more to the downside. But yeah, a little bit more likely to bounce here than not, in my opinion, as this one's been beat up quite a fair bit. In the short term, do you get a short-term downside move? Maybe not. Again, I don't have strong opinions on this. My strong opinion is on bounce first, generally similar to Bitcoin, and then probably, if it is going to roll over, probably roll over after that. Long term, I'm still certainly not convinced that the macro low is in, especially when I reference a time frame like this, which is the quarterly. So long term, probably does come down more. I do think that this one probably does come down somewhere like to 3450 to 3500 minimum in like the next year or so. So yeah, cool. Gringenstein says, "Hey sir, can you check out VBR on the weekly monthly?" Sure. What is this? Is this? It's a stock. Oh, nice. Okay. It's Vanguard. Okay, on the weekly and monthly. Okay, I'm on the quarterly, so a little bit too high right there. Again, kind of rolling over right here. Longer term, I do think it comes down and corrects to like 165. Is that right? Sorry, not 165, 145. You're already at 165. Weekly, short term bouncy, can very easily even bounce back up towards like 172 to 174 and a half region. So short term probably bounces first. Long term, do I think it rolls over a little bit more and then tries for a low? I do think so, yes. Quarterly, again, kind of shows the picture here. Regular bearish divergence. I do think that this one will eventually correct somewhere down to like mid 140s. Cool. Mr. Venegas, good morning, sir. Can you check out OGN, please? 4-hour and daily, considering Bitcoin pulls back or doesn't. Okay, OGN. Let's see. See if it's relatively strong or not. 4-hour and daily. It is a bit more on the relatively strong side, which is rather interesting to see. This is kind of where I'd expect another lower high, if it is going to put in a lower high, to be fair. But okay, so if Bitcoin does not pull back and just busts on through here, I would be looking for this one to put in a move somewhere around like 32 cents or so. If you do get a pullback first, then let's just see where the areas of interest are. Somewhere between like 17.75 to 19 cents is where I'd be looking for. Hopefully, for the sake of this one, a bounce there. Daily. Yeah, to be fair, I mean, on the daily, like this one is having a pound for pound better response than a lot of the other things that we've already seen today. But long term, you know, you got one of these charts, right? So take that as you will. Take that with a grain of salt. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Let's actually see what the lower term time frame is looking like right now. Ooh, she's gonna bounce. She's gonna bounce. Let's see. DJ Themi says, can you look at NKN? What is this? Nikon? Nikon, yeah. It's actually, I was actually looking at, oh no, you're probably looking at this thing. God damn it. Yeah, I did the greens above, yes. Daily, weekly. I mean, these are, again, long-term, just very likely coming down, honestly, to probably retraces that wick down to like 6 to 5 cents or so long-term. But do you bounce here first? Probably yes. You know, this thing can bounce even rather aggressively if it wants, especially if Bitcoin does as well. 12.5 cents to 13 cents where I'd be looking for if it does. Again, that's really more or less contingent upon Bitcoin bouncing as well. Yeah. Other than that, don't really have too much to say about it, especially on the higher term timeframes. Let's see. Christopher McCarthy says, is Guard a rug? Are they selling rugs over here? I'm guessing you mean some sort of a crypto. So let me just type in this. Okay, maybe not. Maybe you're talking about a stock. The only one that's coming up that seems relevant is this one here on Stockholm Exchange. And is it a rug? Oh God, it's one of these. It appears to be a rug, sir. I think we have a rug. And this is log scale. This is linear scale. That looks a lot like a rug. Yeah, man, pretty ugly. A very, 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 very disturbingly ugly chart right there. Let's go back to Bitcoin here. Let's see. All right. Who is Gavin? Says this officially pops my super chat cherry. Hey man, awesome. Now dance monkey. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's a scary thing about this. Ave, please, 15-minute and hourly, and would appreciate daily too if you would. Okay. Ave. Okay, let's see where the daily's at. Okay, we have a garbage piece of shit chart. Wow, really, really ugly. Really fucking gross. Now, if you put it on log scale, it's not that bad, but it's doing the dying swan here, which typically good, strong assets do not do. That's more in the short term, however. Anyways, you're going on, where? Okay, 15-minute and hourly. Okay, so very low term time frames. See, do we have anything obvious here? I mean, hourly is putting in a bit of an uptrend here, but you have not overtaken your range highs on a closing base, which is 96.15. Above there, I do look for a nice move, actually north of 100, like 105 to maybe even as much as 107.5. I would flip around to being bearish on it below about 86.35. 15-minute short-term up probably plays out a nice move into like the $92 to $93 range. Other than that, I really don't have a strong opinion on these highly esteemed altcoins. I mean, long term, does this one trade lower? Very likely, yes. Very fucking likely, yes. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing somewhere between like 40 and 30 bucks in like the next year or so. Okay, 1 second. Yes, okay, go down, she says. South Charlotte Services, back. One last question. Are market makers influenced by large whale pools, investors, or limit orders? That, you just said a bunch of word salad there, man. What the fuck? Sorry. Do they move market toward? Oh, this is the biggest bullshit I see as well. Okay, so people think that market makers move the markets. Again, this shows, and no offense to you, but it shows that you do not understand the fundamentals of how markets work. Market makers are doing what? They're providing liquidity for the market. They are essentially putting in the orders that you see in the order book. And those orders, again, are limit orders. What moves the price? Market orders or limit orders? You already fucking know the answer. So no, market makers do not move the price. People have a big misconception with what market makers do. Market makers are just looking to pull in typically stat arbitrage or some sort of arbitrage. Which means that they are direction neutral. They do not give a fuck about direction if they are a true market maker. Now, what you're probably getting confused with is like a quant firm or a big, just like a big hedge fund or a big money manager, something like that. They probably will care about direction and they can do, stuff like that. Market makers, if they are a true market maker, not a market maker disguised as like a quant firm, are basically going to, just be providing liquidity to the market. And they're just looking for some sort of an arbitrage that they can pull in. So yes, this is something that just people like get massively fucking wrong. Anytime that you see someone say the market makers are doing this, you can immediately write them off as completely fucking clueless and an Alex Jones fuckface. Sorry, man. I'm getting like way too aggressive today. I do apologize about that. It's not intended to like be offensive, but it's just, I actually used to be a market maker authorized trader. I used to have a fucking badge. And I can tell you from direct experience that market makers, 99% of them do not give a fuck about direction at all. Like literally that's in the fucking job title. So anyone who's talking about that is just clueless, in my opinion, just personal opinion. Again, they literally don't even understand like the most fundamental portion of markets, that market orders are the ones that move the markets. Market makers are, as the name would suggest, the makers, meaning that they put in the fucking limit orders. Oh, God. Frustrating, man. Oh, well. Anyways, let's see. Tom Yao says, Krown, your Asian brother with the same name ran a Ponzi scheme. I actually don't know who you're referring to. Same. Oh, Krown. Okay. Yeah. I'm actually not. Who is that? If you don't mind, I don't know if you're still here, but if you could type it in the chat, I'm just curious because I would like to look up his name because that'd be like very, that'd be very not good to be wrapped up with someone like that. Just like looking at the chats right now just to see if you are there. I'm curious though, like who is this person? I was actually not under the impression that there's another, or I guess I'm just not aware. Anyways, Little Beast M Training says, hello sir, what's up man? Do Kwon, is that him? Is that him? What? Oh, the Luna owner. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay. Oh, Krown. Okay, I see. Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks a lot like a Ponzi, or a pyramid at least, a pyramid scheme. Do Krown. That's funny, man. That's funny. I heard that he's going to be like subpoenaed by the court there in his country of South Korea. Man, that's Jesus Christ, man. Good luck with that. Mr. Venegas says KNC hourly and 4. Okay, got it. It's Kyber Network Derp. Let's see. Okay, you said hourly and 4. Really good move right there. So again, relatively strong in the short term. I do think that extends this move maybe a little bit more in the short term towards like 245 to 250-ish region. But yeah, a really good response right there. Actually, all things considered, definitely relatively strong compared to most things that we've seen today, including Bitcoin, that is. Other than that, if you do see a closure today above about 240 on a daily, I would actually extend the move a significant amount more towards 255 to 260 and 255 to 265. Really weird chart here, but I guess it does hold its macro higher lows for what it's worth, and having a really good response here as well. So I'd probably be looking for a pullback though in like around like 240 to 250 though. I do think that that's rather likely, even though it is having a strong response here. But, if Bitcoin were to turn down, this one just probably puts in a higher low, I don't know, somewhere in the mid or upper ones, if I had to guess. Other than that, if you're on the hourly, starting to lose momentum right now, you're going to start to create some bearish divergences if it starts putting in a high right here. So I think that generally speaking, might have one more try a little bit higher, but ultimately probably does correct down just below $2, especially if Bitcoin does the same thing as well. It's easier to watch Bitcoin in my opinion, but this one, if Bitcoin plays out any sort of a bounce, this one very likely trades more to the upside in like a more impressive fashion, to be exact. Glenn Wong says C6L Singapore. Okay, C6L. Okay, symbol SIA. Daily, weekly. Hold on, I just want to make sure that I actually got this. Okay, these are the same thing. Okay, gotcha. Okay, you're looking at weekly, monthly. Took a long position at 488. Okay, so you're in a phenomenally good position right here. Amazing, man. Look at this. Look at this. You bought the uptrend. That's incredible. That's great trading, man. Absolutely great trading. And what do you have here? You have probably my favorite formation. And ascending triangle would be fully validated even just above your October 11th highs, just like 562 at that point. Probably looking at a move somewhere around like $6.5 or so. Are you on a monthly as well? Yeah, let's see if the monthly also looks somewhat good. Here's the thing, like this is where you would expect a major rejection if it is going to end up being bearish. So that's why I would kind of put this contingent upon validation, but there are more upside signals than downside signals. I don't think that there's any real reason to be concerned about this, especially as long as you're above 510, for example. In fact, you're about to get another drive of hidden bullish divergence with a weekly closure here or higher. So I do think upside's a lot more likely. Possible target 6.6. Yeah, somewhere around there. 6.5. Something like that's close enough in that case. Arctic Fox says, can you interpret that there is an ascending triangle in the Bitcoin 4-hour chart? Let me get out my Bula goggles here. Is there an trending? Let me pull out a fresh one actually. Okay, is there an ascending triangle right here? No, I would not say so. But here's the thing, and this is why I actually don't think that it's even really that worthwhile to learn formations, even though you probably should if you're gonna. Probably should. Is this? Look, if you do trade above essentially your range highs here. Like I see what you're looking at, right? I see what you're looking at, but the thing is, like, you don't need to know that this might be an ascending triangle just to know that this is the range highs, and a break above there, you're probably going to trade up somewhere around like 33, right? So to me, it's like it's better to simplify when in doubt. Okay, let me scroll around here. Let's see. Go up. Okay, we're on the blue ones now. Oh, Tom, yeah, wants to look at Ape. Okay, we might need to close them relatively soon, though, because my voice is getting smashed. Let me just double check over here. Okay, Ape. I guess Binance, maybe? I don't know. Again, holding it up like somewhat better than Bitcoin. Again, for what it's worth here. And what time frames are you looking at? Hourly and daily. Hourly and daily, that's quite the spread there. Hourly. It's kind of similar to what we were just looking at. We do have a slew of higher lows right here, but until you do start to trade above, your range highs, which is, in the short term about 913.5, I wouldn't be looking for that next leg up towards 980 to maybe even $10. Daily, really ugly chart long term, but the question to me is, do you bust on through first and try and move towards like 10.5 maybe on a daily, or do you fail this region right here, specifically come back down even on like an hourly below 820 and play at a move down towards like 7.25 and probably lower than that over time as well? Again, it's Bitcoin is just the easier one to watch because its ranges are more obvious here. But if Bitcoin plays out the downside, you're very likely to find this one back down around like mid to low $7 and try for a bounce there. Other than that, I don't really have a strong opinion on it. Let's see. Okay. Where was I? Okay, yes, there we are. I found it. Tom Struck says AXS BTC. Okay, so we got a Bitcoin pair in here. 4-hour and daily. I guess Binance is the one. Okay, daily. 4 hours fucking ugly. Daily's oh, Jesus Christ, man. Oh my God. Very, 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 very ugly long-term chart, and very likely does retest some at some point back down to like 580. Even the daily, the daily's still kind of bearish right here too. Short term probably comes down to like 660. What was the other time frame? 4 hour? Yeah, 4 hour. I'm bearish on this. Probably back down to range lows, 660 to 645 region. If you do start to close below about 640, then I guess at that point I'd look for another free fall down to your current lows, something like that. Long term, this one. That's not great, man. Only way that I'd even, if you do trade above your 16th of May high, I'd look for a nice move towards 800 or so, maybe even gets extended towards like 900. But really ugly chart here. The only thing that I'd be looking for on this thing is pity bounces, basically. Webby says VWKUSX. Okay, this one's new to me. VWUSX. Okay. Not on trading view, unfortunately. Yeah. Let me just double check. VWUSX. Yeah. Vanguard US growth. Yeah. Apparently this is not on trading view, or at least not under that ticker. So unfortunately I can't look at that. Yeah, just did Tom. Henry Wanaker says, can you look at Gary? Gary. Okay. KuCoin. 4-hour daily. Is there an ascending triangle? No, there's an ascending top right here though. This one bearish divergence all the way through, probably going to correct down to like 65 cents. 4-hour. Is there an ascending derp right here? Absolutely fucking not, man. No. I think that this one's actually put in a top right here, but it is interesting to say or see that we have a chart here that looks completely different than the strong majority of this market, or pretty much everything in this market. I do think it's going to correct here, but I wouldn't necessarily get like long-term bearish on it. Long-term bearishness happens below 50 cents. In this case, I think you're probably going to correct down to like 65 cents, probably try for a bounce there, and then maybe roll on over to like 60 cents and try for like a real low there. But I'm getting many drives of bearish divergence there on low volatility, so I do think that this one trades sideways and down. Pin my message. I'll pin your message, sir. Let's see, where is it? And there is African Crypto Warlord. What's up, man? Good morning to you. Let's replace that pinned message, okay? And then you want to look at Matic, okay, for points of interest on Polygon. Yeah, no one seems to ask about Polygon anymore. Let's see why, or I'm guessing it's because it's just gone straight down to 70 cents. Wow. I don't even have a chart on this one anymore. It's been so long. Okay, you're looking at daily. Okay, so points of interest to the downside, short term would be like 59.5 cent. To the upside, short term would again be like 70. What is this? 75 cents. Above there, I do look for a nice move towards 90 cents. 4-hour. Yeah, I mean that's kind of already got the short term. Many drives have hidden bearish divergence, so I'm inclined to say short term probably does come down to the low side of the range first. Does it try for another bounce there? Hopefully for the Bulaw's sake, it does. Yeah. Other than that, I mean long term, man. This one unlikely to do anything sustained to the upside anytime soon. Heavily bearish long term on the macro below 140 basically. Like very, 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 very ugly. But you know, if I had to call it, probably trades, you know, if you're on the higher term time, probably does something like this, tries for an upside move and then gets slammed down if it's going to get slammed down. I think most things are going to do something relatively similar to that. Let me just double check things over here. Did I actually get filled? No, no fill. Unfortunate. Unfortunate, sirs. Okay, okay. Where are we at? Yeah. To who? Davey? Davey says VTX. Okay, but it might be a different pair. All right. Let's just see what pops up here. I'll try this first. Okay, no, it's going to be versus Wrapped Ave. Oh, God. Sir. No, maybe Wrapped AVAX. Yes, there we go. Pretty good. Versus Avalanche. Unfortunately, Avalanche is pretty shitty right now versus the dollar. So, you know, I do think it's probably going to maybe give you one more try to like 0.0175 region, but likely come down after that and try for a higher low somewhere around like 0.128 region, something like this. Somewhere around here for a higher low. So maybe one more short-term try first, then try for a higher low, and then if it's going to be bullish, that's where I kind of expect it. But we can already see major drives of bearish divergence forming on the daily. So, and also, you know, these are I'm going to imagine like extremely illiquid pairs. So, as always, I don't really trust technical analysis too much in cases like this. Tom Yao says, you were skipped. Tom, same question, skipped 3 times. Sad face. Luna on the hourly in 3 hour, please. No, I actually don't think that we did Luna, to be fair. So apologies on that, man.
I asked to do this Luna.
Okay, well, I got the wrong one then. Okay, relax. Let's see. Where was this? Maybe FTX or something? Fucking hell, man. I mean, if you're going to play something like this, just understand that this is not like, in my opinion, real trading. This is just kind of gambling and, you know, hoping and praying. Is there a chance for a bounce? I mean, there's always going to be a chance, right? But I don't have a realistic analysis on something like this. If I'm just looking at tentacles, I would say down, probably back down to like, who the fuck knows what these numbers are. Somewhere back down around like 6,000 to, Jesus Christ, that drops off fast to like 1,500. But I do not trust analysis on something like this, man. Yeah. If I'm looking at indicators, probably down. But again, I do not trust that on this. Okay, let's see. Rocher says, clean it up, young man. Sorry, sir. APOSD, yes, we got that one. Echo ZN says spending some Luna to ask for Apple on the 4-hour and daily. Okay, APL. Okay, 4-hour and daily. Okay, let's go to the daily first, see where it is in the grand scheme of things. It's having its first bounce after like a major massive down, as are most things in this market. You know, I do think at some, you know, you might extend the bounce a little bit more towards 151, maybe even 152 or so, but I do think that this one will come down more over time if you're on the very higher term timeframes. If that's not relevant to you and you're just looking at the 4 hour, maybe one more shallow try to like 151. And other than that, I really don't have a strong opinion on the short term. Actually, if it wants to go for more, I'd be looking for like 157. But you know, generally speaking, after probably a bit more of a bounce here first, I do think that this one will eventually come down to like somewhere between like 110 to 120ish region. The quarterly, again, kind of telling the story. You're about to have 1, 2, 3, 4 drives of bearish divergence here, and unless assuming that you close this next quarter below 150. At that point, yeah, I'm looking low 100s long term. Let's see, PCT daily, says Briere. Okay, PCT. I know this from Pure Cycle Technologies. Yes, that's exactly what you should know it from. Let's see, is this a crypto though? Thank God it's not. All right, Pure Cycle. Yes. Cycling it up, huh? Daily, pretty okay in the short term. We got a nice little spike low into a higher low. Good. Short term, you just tested the range highs here, so pullback is appropriate. That's fine. Actually, look at this one is likely to trade sideways and up, probably closer to like $10 or so. The invalidation for that, however, would be with any sort of a daily closure below about 769. In that case, I guess roll it over and retest your lows. But for right now, I think it's a little more likely to trade a bit more sideways here. Probably try an upside move. Yeah, daily RSI and daily Joule kind of given a bias on direction here to the upside. So maybe a short-term correction, but ultimately I do think it's a little more likely to trade to the upside. Long-term, fucking god-awful chart, but you know, long-term, if it traded up even towards like $11, that'd be completely fine, and still long-term massively bearish. Elsa isn't the highlight of your life. She's a highlight person of my life, but you know, she's also a part of this too. Let's see. Okay, I think that's actually it. Did we get everything? Did we do everything? I think we did everything. Holy shit. Wow. Okay, I guess that was maybe not as long as what I was thinking. For some reason, I thought that we had like way too many comments, and I need to. Yeah, it's not even 9:30. Yeah. All right, we can maybe do like a couple more. Maybe I'll just hang out here for like another 5 minutes or so. I thought it was much later than it actually is. Like for like another few minutes maybe. Okay, so you're looking at VT Sachs. Okay, VT Sachs. Not on TradingView, man. Not on TradingView. It's fine. I mean, I can just also read just any comments down here. Tommy Yao says, Elsie, you didn't make a mistake. I was asked 2 questions. Thanks, Krown. Hey, man, much love to you as well, sir.
I don't make mistakes.
Yeah, I don't think that you did. It's just a clear and clean miscommunication, which happens, you know? It's okay to have a miscommunication. Elsa, like Finnish people, they have to be perfect, and if they're not perfect, it's like the world has ended, so. Sandman wants to look at Hex. I think Hex played out my move down to like 11 or 10 cents. Let's see if it has more to go. Yep, we did get another move down to actually just below 10 cents. So I'm wrong, and I should be killed. I think this one has more low to go, man. You know, technically speaking, I should wait for a daily closure below 11 cents. I think that's more of a formality in this case. You're about to get a silver cross to the downside. You already have hidden bearish divergence, and volatility is very low already here. 5-day is not taking up just yet, but I suspect that this one is actually kind of a laggard to the rest of the market, whereas like, you know, Bitcoin in the majors and the cryptos kind of play out their moves first, and then Hex follows. You know, generally speaking, long term, I think that this one does come down and stays below about 10 cents for a while. The only invalidation that I'd have for that, and it'd actually be massively bullish if this were to happen, to be really fucking good, would be even with a daily closure above like 17.5 cents, or even just a tick above 20 cents, I'd be like massively fucking bullish on this. But until then, I think that it's chosen its direction for a while, and you're going to see some pretty sustained sideways and downside moves in the next couple months to come. You know, probably some big bounces around like 7.5 to 8 cents, and then maybe again at like 5 cents or so. And who knows where it settles long term? I have no idea. But you know, I think this one's seen its that rejection at 20 cents was significant, similar to Bitcoin's rejection at like 48. Tesla, please and thanks. We can look at it for a second. Just I'm curious to see from my own knowledge here. Bouncy region, but long term not great. Yeah. Elsie, your country just submitted request to join EU. Wait, we're already in the EU, man. Capotico says Dixie. Yeah, that would be worthwhile to check out. Monthly, you're getting your first sort of pullback after a macro breakout. I think this one will pull back more. So again, I do think that if you are more long-term minded, this is much more of a bouncy area than not. It's just, does Bitcoin in the market play out like one more move down around like 28 or maybe even around the current lows? I don't have a strong opinion on that. I think it's a little more likely to like 28 first, but I do think that this one corrects here. And then long term, later this year, we see more upside out of this. Monthly is still massively bullish. Quarterly is still massively bullish. Weekly is probably going to play at a pullback. We're hitting extremes here on weekly BBWP. It's almost even below the moving average, and weekly RSIs, giving a bit of a pullback signal as well, corrective signal there. Yeah. XLM, one pump your mom says GRT or XLM, sir. Man, with a name like that, how are you gonna ask about fucking XLM? This piece of absolute just disgusting garbage. Dude, terrible, fucking god awful. Long term, very likely back down to single cents, but that could still be like a year to like half year to maybe even a year away. Corrections anywhere, even on like a corrective upside move, like 17 cents to 18 cents is just a clean and obvious like lower high, just really, really, really fucking awful here. Like, what's worse, XLM or fucking shitcoin Litecoin? Sorry, I shouldn't say that, man. Gonna get another fucking 10-page long email. How dare you call Litecoin shitty? Why would it be shitty if Walmart's using it? Well, maybe they're not using it. Anyways, having conversations with myself, so certainly I'm the one with an issue here, not anyone else. Yeah, terrible here as well, but not as bad as XLM. Not as bad as XLM. H bar, please, 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 man. Like, desperate times call for desperate measures. I'm gonna guess, probably a terrible chart. Oh, what do you know? A terrible chart. Really big wick there. So it's a good sign to see that it has a little bit of life. But this would be a really just amazing place for a lower high. If not here, I think best case scenario, like best case Bula Hopium scenario, you get like a move towards 15 cents. Like, let's say the market just, I don't know, the United, like some sort of country adopts Bitcoin or whatever the fuck, and you got to move up there. Probably not going to happen, but long term, absolute just garbage. Much more likely to re-see these wick lows over the next half year to a year, I'd say. But the question is, do you have a greater bounce first or not? I mean, this one's already kind of given it up right here. It's pretty weak, respectively speaking. So yeah, ugly charts. The question is, does it bounce first? Maybe 15 cents. I mean, in like I guess there actually is a little more hopium for the upside, just because yeah, 20 cents would even be possible too on like a massive Bula Hopium infused upside move, but still that would just be another lower high in the macro. I sincerely think that this one retests back down to single digits at some point in time in the next half year. Let's see. Mr. Venegas says, by the way, did you see Portugal will now tax crypto soon? Yeah, it wouldn't be too concerning. Like, I wouldn't necessarily go there for the tax savings, because, like I expect to pay some tax, right? What I really want is just second residency in a warm place, because Elsa needs some warm weather in the winter here, and so do I at this point. I mean, it's too fucking cold, honestly.
He also has the mana.
And mana, okay, so apologies on that one. Okay, man, I think we'll end on this one actually. 4 hour daily. Okay. I think we'll end on this one. Mana already kind of coughing up its bounce, hidden bearish divergence on the daily. Short term, probably coming back down to like 102. Let's see. Somewhere between 104 to $1 even. Kind of already rolling over here. I would only invalidate that with a move back above your 15th of May highs, and target probably up somewhere around $1.50 to $1.60. Until then, it's like, the question is, how far does it come down here before trying for another bounce? I think somewhere around the area that we just spoke about. I think if things really get nasty, maybe like 82 cents to 90 cents. I do think that, again, it's probably does roll over here a little bit, test some downside, and then tries for a greater bounce. But long term, I don't think this one's going to be doing anything super interesting to the upside. I know it's hit the 200 simple here. I know it has a massive wick, but I think maybe something like this, maybe bounce up here and then rolls over, and then you probably put in like a more long form accumulation in this region. Would be kind of what I think over the next like year or so, maybe 2 years, something like that. All right, cool. JC says, I'm bullish if we go above 50,000. I'm bearish if we go below 20,000. Man, given a lot of room for error there, but fair enough. Fair enough. Maybe you're like extremely long term. I mean, technically speaking, if you are on the macro here, it would be actually extremely bullish to be back above 52. But I'm pretty bearish as long as we're below 52 long term. You know, Bitcoin could easily put in a rally towards like even 40,000. I would still be bearish. Just, you know, that's a tradable rally, certainly. Or at least for myself. Anyways, I think that's a good place to leave this one off. Thank you for also joining the cave, Mr. Gasman. Appreciate that, man. Also, check out if you are joined on the channel. I do want you to know that you get like a special playlist. It's very, very basic, but I just want to give something back to the people who are like, you know, actually going through the trouble of joining the channel. It's a very, very basic TA 101 playlist. So if that sounds of value to you, make sure that you do check that out because, you know, you're entitled to it, obviously. Other than that, I'm going to be signing off now. It's been an absolute pleasure on this nice Wednesday. Elsa's waving in the background and standing up today because she loves you. And there's her nice little blue penguin. I want to wish everyone well. Stay safe in these markets. Hopefully people are doing well, and we'll be back soon enough. So with that said, take care and see you hopefully soon.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, XR, pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate. Pause it, list it, send it, burn it, pump it, hack it, quick rename it, take it, take it, lend it, send it, swell it, sell it, click, unclick it, see it, watch it, learn it, know it, post it, tweet it,